Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Infinity Well. I am Larry Stahl. We're just going to kind of let some of the viewers file in, and then we'll truly get started on the topic at 6:35. We already have one person watching, but hey, guys, remember, do not be afraid. And like I said in the comment, feel free to leave comments and keep the discussion going. I want to hear your thoughts. And also, just so you guys know, there is going to be a giveaway that we are starting today because this is the beginning of Avengers week. We are. I'll give you guys details once the actual show gets going here at 35. It appears we got a couple more people watching at the moment. Don't be afraid to leave questions, and I can immediately jump right into them as soon as we hit 6:35, my time anyway. I don't know what time it is for everyone else. But anyways, yeah, we've been doing a really great job here on the channel so far. Got a lot of people. I was originally not going to do a speculation video because I thought you guys might not have wanted me to talk about it. But I had a couple people get a hold of me and say, hey, you should talk about, what you think is going to happen in Avengers Endgame. So I figured, hey, why not? Figured that would be a good episode for this week anyway, especially because, like I said, this is Avengers week on the channel. We are doing videos every day going over a certain character, going over the original 6 Avengers in the MCU from today, which the Captain America video is already posted, all the way up until Thursday, where we cover Hawkeye and Black Widow in the same video. And then that Friday, I don't know if I'm going to be able to post anything just yet. I might, but pretty much the goal of what's going to happen Friday is I'm going to go see Endgame, and I'm going to come back with a guest and review the movie. I'll be as vague as possible because I also want to do a different video that is completely spoilers. I'm hoping that can be the case. But yeah, everything's going great on the channel. Thank you to all of you who have been supportive, and I want to give a special shout out to the Facebook group I Freaking Love Marvel Comics, which I will actually grab a link for you guys real quick. If you guys are really big Marvel fans and you want to be part of a community on Facebook that you're these guys are absolutely great. Every day I'm always getting notifications on my phone about some sort of post that's being made, interesting questions that are being asked. So yes, that link right there that I have just posted is a really great Facebook group, and you guys can go ahead and join that once our session is over. I also want to bring up, please, Free Comic Book Day is coming up. As some of you may know, that is going to be May 4th of this year, the first Saturday in May. And that is always a great time. Any comic book store you go to, like in the region that I'm close to, I could go to Toledo, I can go to the one here in town, I can go to Lima. They'll be giving out pretty much free books, and some places will have like pizza and music and like events going on and contests. It's just a really big party for Marvel fans, and I honestly think that most of my viewers here that really dig this stuff would be into that sort of thing. If you guys want to try to find a comic book store that will be hosting this, I'm sure you could Google what the closest comic shop is to your region, and you should be able to try to jump on that. But yeah, Free Comic Book Day is coming up, and there's especially some great Marvel books that are going to be coming out. And as a matter of fact, next week's plans are definitely going to have something to do with one of those books that's coming out. I'll let you guys kind of try to take a wild guess about what that is. It appears we still have 2 people watching. We got about 30 more seconds. Oh, wait, nope, it's 35. Okay, all right, anybody that might be watching now, again, hello and welcome to the Infinity Well. I am Larry Stahl. This is a comic book discussion in the comments. Here for a while, I'm just going to be live streaming, and anybody who's watching can go ahead and leave a comment at any point in time, ask any questions you want. And as a matter of fact, today's episode is going to be the Avengers Endgame speculation. which is essentially what do we think is going to happen in the movie. I do have quite a few thoughts on what I think is going to happen. There's things that I want to happen, and I don't know if it will exactly get those, but they would be absolutely great moments. If I were to start with one thing and what I think is going to happen here is I don't think Thanos is gonna die. Like, I feel like Thanos, he is going to be pretty much put somewhere where he could be like a looming threat once more. I feel like that would be really interesting to kind of see, because like Thanos in the books, he's dead recently. Like he's actually dead now, but up until that point, Thanos had never truly died. Um, he had always kind of been like banished here and there, and then he came back somehow. But like no, um, actually, we have a comment over here right now from Daniel Ruiz. It says, "In a stone, you think Thanos would be put inside of the Soul Stone, maybe, and like trapped in there?" Because I can totally see something like that happening. It's like if we're going with that possible theory that all the heroes are inside of the Soul Stone, what if they just switch spots where the heroes pretty much jump out and force Thanos in? Um, that would actually be really cool to see. Um, Another like weird question that I kind of have about what Endgame is going to be bringing to the table is okay. We don't know how or if the characters are going to come back, but we do know that there is a Spider-Man Far From Home coming up, and they're not really showing us much about that movie just yet until Endgame comes out, so they don't spoil what's going to happen in Endgame. But okay, if time isn't messed with at all, and like the time gap that's supposedly happening in this movie happens, and then all of these characters come back, like what does that mean for Spider-Man? Because like he was dead all that time, and then everything, like everybody's brought back and everything goes back to normal. Like, does that mean Peter and all the kids in his class are held back a year because they missed school for a year? Because that sounds like something like really crappy that they would like that sounds like something legit that like modern school system would do. Like, oh, you were dead? Well, too bad. You have to repeat sophomore year. I could totally see something like that happening. But no, like being dead serious though, I can see Thanos being shoved inside of one of the stones. Another thing, which is kind of a bigger one, but I think most of our main Avengers, like the main cast of this movie, are going to die. Most of them, I can't necessarily say all of them, especially because we have it confirmed that we are getting a Hawkeye show on the Disney Plus streaming service, where he is going to be training Kate Bishop to become the new Hawkeye. Which, like, there's no way that it could have taken place in the past before, unless Avengers Endgame gives us a really good explanation. But other than that, I really don't know like what could potentially be happening there. Like I personally think that the original six, maybe all of them, but maybe a couple of them will actually stick around. So yeah, that's kind of another thing that I've been thinking about. And remember, guys, don't be afraid to leave any comments and ask any questions. As a matter of fact, we have another comment right now. Daniel Ruiz says, "Do you think Silver Surfer may make a guest appearance at the very end of the movie since he's got a big part with the stones? I think it's been a while." Um, okay, so here's the thing. I would love to see Silver Surfer in this movie, and I would love to be able to sit here and confirm, like Disney and Fox made some sort of deal a long time ago, so that before the Disney Fox merger, that Marvel was allowed to use Galactus and the Silver Surfer and bring them over into the MCU. I would absolutely love, I mean love to see Silver Surfer and Galactus end up being this like newer, greater threat that has kind of been hinted at as the movie goes on and whatnot. Like that would be something really cool. Especially because like what if like Thanos dies like at the beginning of the movie? Like like really think about that. What if Thanos dies at the beginning of the movie, and then the rest of the movie is all of the cosmic beings that are pissed that the Infinity Gauntlet was used, and like let's say like the Avengers kill Thanos, use the gauntlet, bring everybody back, or something like that. And then like the last like 2 hours of the movie is like Galactus showing up and being like, "How dare you like destroy the stones?" Or like because the stones have been used on planet Earth, it's like full of like cosmic energies that Galactus could feed off of. Like they kill Thanos, like they're on Earth. There's like this big battle. Everybody's brought back. They kill Thanos, and then all of a sudden, here comes Silver Surfer. And Silver Surfer's just like, uh, Galactus is coming. Like, you guys have 2 weeks to prepare and try to leave this planet before he pretty much devours it. Like, that would be something really cool, too. When it comes to things that I've been thinking about, though, they said that other characters that haven't been in the MCU or in any movie yet might appear in this movie. There's been hinting at from the directors, and the Galactus thing, Galactus and Silver Surfer, that might be what it is, or maybe they're going to introduce other Avengers that haven't quite made it onto the team and made it into a movie yet. Like, what if all of a sudden they were like, "Here's Spider Woman," or all of a sudden they were like, "Hey, here's Adam Warlock from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2." That would be something really awesome that I personally would really like to see. Um, because like the MCU is great. Don't get me wrong, and I love the amount of heroes that I am seeing in all these movies and on the screen. But there are still some other characters that I truly would like to see adapted. Like back there, that's a poster of the Century, one of my favorite Marvel characters ever, who is like part of the Avengers, especially in the Avengers series. They're primarily basing the movies off of the Brian Michael Bendis run, but I don't know if he would possibly show up. Daniel Ruiz also says the Watcher. The Watcher has been in a movie before. If you remember in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, we actually saw multiple of them with the Stan Lee cameo. And as a matter of fact, if you stuck around to the very end credits of the movie, there's more of the Watchers and Stan Lee having a chat. I mean, like the Watcher, if he showed up, that'd be cool. I'd be totally okay with that. But as of right now, I have no clue if the Watcher is something that they're actually be going to like. They're actually going to like implement into the series. Um, Other things that I want. Now, these are just fanboy things that I would absolutely love to happen in these movies. Um, First of all, I want Cap yelling "Avengers Assemble." That sounds so dumb, like especially for like the regular audience goer. They're gonna be like, "Well, that's kind of dumb." I feel like anyway. I don't know. Everybody seemed to really like Infinity War, and I thought it would make a lot of money, but not a lot of people would like it because it was too comic booky. But it ended up being like the biggest movie in the MCU. But yeah, I would love to hear Cap say like "Avengers Assemble." My thought was always going to be that Cap is the one who uses the gauntlet to bring everybody back. And so, like, imagine because, like, when a regular person holds a stone, as we saw in the first Guardians of the Galaxy, they're like ripped apart and pretty much disintegrated. And so, like, if Captain America was like, "Avengers Assemble," and like he was like falling apart, and like those were his dying words, and behind the ashes of Cap's body, a big old portal opens up, and everybody like comes piling out and beats the living shit out of Thanos. That would be really cool. But like any form of Avengers Assemble, because it's going to happen if everybody comes back and there's a big battle scene, I'll take it. I will take the living hell out of it. We have another comment here from Daniel Ruiz. Says, Captain America's shield. What exactly do you think is going on with that? Well, you see, I had kind of like two thoughts about this in my head. First one was the obvious answer, where him and Tony make up. Tony gives him the shield back. The other version of this answer is okay. This is gonna get like really weird. So if you guys remember in the 90s Captain America comic books, he had this like wrist gauntlet thing that sat, just like a wrist like band. And essentially it had this device inside of it that created like a hologram shield, like a big old round hologram Captain America shield, and then like the shield was able to like take other forms and like wrap around everybody to like stop any incoming impact. It pretty much worked as like an energy force field, and like he could throw it and then it would like come back to him, or he could just throw it and leave it there. And then like when it was just really cool. I always thought that would be like a really cool idea for them to do that in the movie, but I personally don't think that we're going to get that. Maybe if Cap dies and we get Bucky Cap because he doesn't feel worthy of the shield, maybe we will actually get like like he gets himself the hologram shield. Just stuff like that. Stuff like that I really wish I could see in the movie. So that's actually a really good question about the shield, because I had a couple of thoughts about that. Um, Other things I want to see. This one is also kind of one that's not even important to the story, but I just want to see it. I want to see Peter Parker go full blast with his powers. We have never truly seen him go full blast with how strong he is. Of course, in Spider-Man: Homecoming, we have the instance of him holding the boat together. In Avengers: Infinity War, when Cole Obsidian, like the half of the taxi goes ripping through the air, and Peter like whips it around, and throws it back at him, like almost as if it's like nothing. Like I want to see stuff like that. And if we saw a moment where Peter Parker beat the living shit out of Thanos, didn't get the killing blow, but beat him, like so he's like bleeding profusely, I would dig that. I would dig that a lot. Because like Spider-Man is like a very powerful character, and the MCU understands that he's a very powerful character. And there's actually one really good moment that kind of wraps that up in Spider-Man: Homecoming, where when they're on the boat before it's split in half, and you've got Adrian Toomes selling the weapons over to Matt Gargan and all of the other gang members, and Peter whips the motorcycle over at those couple of people, and it hits them, and then like I'm pretty sure Matt Gargan smacks into a railing and like messes his arm up, and Peter goes like, "Oh man, I'm sorry. Was that too hard?" And like, I really like that, because it would just be really cool to see Spider-Man like pissed off and go full power in Endgame, because like you killed me, you made me leave behind my aunt who had already had to deal with the death of my uncle. You made me leave behind my friends if they were dead. That's even worse. Like, anyways, I think that's great. We have another comment here for Daniel Ruiz. It says Agent Coulson and Ghost Rider, they brought them in Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Now, here's the thing about Marvel Television and Marvel Studios. Now, Marvel Television, it was originally intended to be pretty much like MCU tie-ins when it first started. Because I believe Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. started in like 2012, 2013. I know that they were advertising that show off of the hype of the first Avengers movie. I remember they were showing ads for it all the way back when that movie came out. But the thing about those two is that those lines don't cross. I can't tell you exactly what it is, but I can tell you it kind of has something to do with Kevin Feige, the president of Marvel Studios, and Jeff Loeb, who is the head of Marvel TV. Like, for some reason, they just can't play nice. Like, the only time we've ever had an actual, well, two times we've had actual MCU characters show up in any of the Marvel shows, including Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and all the Netflix ones, was Nick Fury and Lady Sif. And now, if it tells you anything, Lady Sif never came back to the MCU after she went over to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. She went over there, she made her appearance, and she was gone. And something happened there because she wasn't in Thor Ragnarok, if any of you guys noticed. Um, and then, like, Nick Fury is just a given. You're doing a show about S.H.I.E.L.D., you have to get Nick Fury in there. And it's not like, it's not like we're like, oh, crap, Samuel Jackson with the TV, we got to recast him. No, that's not the case. We have two more comments over here from Daniel Ruiz. He says Black Suit Spider-Man is what that also showed up in Infinity Wars. Daniel says, sorry, that was a typo. But what if the Black Spider-Man suit showed up? I don't know how it would. But I see where you're going, because I've thought about this too. If there was any prime opportunity to get the symbiote from the MCU, it's going to be when and if the Avengers go to Titan 2. Primarily because they were like that's the planet that Thanos decided to go to, and we don't know what kind of alien creatures are out there. Like, what if Titan 2 is actually just, pretty much like Battle World from the books. Like it's not necessarily like a melting pot of all the different universes, but like I don't know, it could just be like a stand-in for Battle World from the Secret Wars story. But yeah, like if the black suit showed up, that'd be really cool. I don't know exactly how they would do that, but I would love to see it. Um, Other things that I would like to see in Endgame, I want to see Steve and Tony make up, which they have to. They absolutely have to. After Civil War happened, there's got to be some sort of conversation in there where Tony gets back from almost dying, and Steve is at his last whim, trying to like come up with a plan on how they can win against Thanos. I think Steve and Tony are both in emotional, vulnerable places, and like that conversation has to happen, and that's something that I really think that the movie is going to need. But that's another thing. Another thing that I was thinking about was what do you guys think that the characters who were physically killed are going to come back, like Loki, like Gamora, Heimdall, any of those characters? Like, do you guys think that they're going to be returning at any point? Because I can understand undoing the snap, bringing back all of those people, and heck, maybe Gamora is involved in that too. But like the characters who were physically killed outside of the usage of the stones, how is that snap going to bring them back? That's got to be undone through like different levels of things. Um, I just think that it'd be really cool if like the characters did come back, but a couple like Gamora and like Loki and Heimdall and them stayed dead, because then that might take the movies going forward into an interesting place. Like maybe the plot, like for example, Chris Hemsworth uh, doesn't really want to quit doing his Thor thing. Like now that he kind of has more say in what the Thor character does, he's really wanting to continue, especially if Taika Waititi is the director. And so like what if like Thor 4 is them like running New Asgard trying to figure out how to bring back Heimdall and Loki? Stuff like that would just be really cool to see. And with like the Gamora thing, what if Gamora is trapped inside of the Soul Stone and the Guardians have to get her out? That is something that actually happened in the Infinity Gauntlet story. Gamora was inside of the Soul Stone and they pulled her out, yeah, but she later on, when we get to Jerry Dugan and Mike Deodato Jr.'s Infinity Wars, when we get to that story, Gamora feels like part of her was left behind in the Soul Stone all those years ago, and so the two have to merge. Like that would be really cool. It'd be a really cool place to take it. Plus, if the Guardians ended up with one of the stones, like what if like Iron Man at the end of the story is like, "Hey Quill, here's the Soul Stone. Like you're gonna have to get Gamora out of there." Like that'd be really awesome. Daniel Ruiz says the Hulk. What about him? The Hulk. Me personally, I'm pretty sure we all know through some of the toy leaks that Bruce Banner is going to end up being Professor Hulk. Um, Pretty much it's going to just be like a merging of Bruce Banner and the Hulk. That's a thing that happened in the books back in the 90s. And I feel like for where the Hulk character has been going through the entire MCU, because every time he shows up in a movie, it's always about, like the duality. How are the two going to work together to be able to help save the day at the end? And so, like, when we go to jump in with the Bruce Banner Hulk character, I feel like at some point in the movie they are going to merge. I feel like the smart way of doing it is like Thanos tries to use the Mind Stone on him, and because there's two brains in there, it scatters it up and pretty much morphs them into one person. Like that'd be really cool, like stuff like that. Now I guess the most important part of like any Endgame speculation is how is it going to end? A lot of people wonder that whenever Endgame's brought up, we all want to know how everybody comes back. We all want to know how they come back. We all want to know if Thanos is going to be killed. And like I said earlier, I feel like Thanos might not die. I do feel like everybody's going to come back, but we're not exactly sure how. We don't know if it's alternate realities. We don't know if it's time travel. We don't know exactly how that's going to be, but I do think the heroes are going to come back. And like I said, to what capacity, I don't know, because like who is to say that Gamora and Heimdall and Loki and shit, maybe even Vision, who is to say that any of those characters are going to come back with everybody from undoing the snap? Like Vision's an easy fix. I mean, not like an easy fix, but like for the characters, it's easy. Where they have the kind of technology that they could probably just rebuild the Vision, or maybe even use the Mind Stone, take what's left of the Vision out of that, and then rebuild it. We have another comment over here from Daniel Ruiz. He says, "Yes, I do think people who are physically dead will actually come back." Okay, how they would come back, I'm not sure. It would really just be a matter of like what like what exactly, how exactly would they be brought back? Like, will they use the gauntlet and purposely bring those people back? Because, like, quite honestly, like for example, like the character of Loki, I feel like his entire story since the beginning, where he first showed up in the MCU, has been wrapped up. Because if you remember, right before he died, he called himself Loki Odinson. Like he finally has accepted that yes, he is the son of Odin. Yes, he is part of their family, no matter how dysfunctional it is. You know, things like that. Things like that I absolutely love about his character arc so far. And if they do bring him back, the only way that they would be able to add on to his story is that when Thor goes to create like the new Asgard with the people of Asgard and all of that, if him and Loki rule side by side. Over here in the comments, we have Daniel Ruse again, who says, and not being able to transform into the Hulk. Okay, yes, when it comes to the Hulk character, he can't really transform right now because there's like a disagreement between the two halves, and they kind of have to become a whole and learn how to work with each other before they can do that. But I do feel like eventually in this movie, they're gonna get their shit together. Like I do feel like we are finally going to get some sort of like some sort of like closure on like the never-ending battle that is those two sorry, I keep getting notifications. I need to put this away. But just like Hulk will have himself together, I think, either early in the movie or at the halfway point, and then he'll be useful for the rest of the movie. But yeah, I do think that this movie is going to end on an up note. I don't think it's going to be another down note again. And especially leading into Spider-Man Far From Home, which is just supposed to be like the same kind of fun that Homecoming was, because Spider-Man's just a fun character, unless you do like a dark, deep story with him like they did with Infinity War and potentially Endgame if they bring him back. But I would absolutely love to see that. It's all kind of up in the air right now. It's all kind of up in the air on exactly how all of this is going to happen, how all of this is going to work. But I can guarantee that by the end of the movie, we will have a satisfying conclusion to the first 22 movies of the MCU. That is something that I can absolutely guarantee to everybody because, first of all, the Russo brothers really know how to play their cards. But because of the Russo brothers knowing how to play their cards, Marvel knows how to play their cards as well. It's really just a matter of us going into the theater and finally seeing it. That's just how that works. Like, I do think that this is going to be the highest grossing movie of all time. Like, legit. Like, the ticket pre-sales are ridiculous. It outsold Infinity War and Star Wars The Force Awakens, if I'm not mistaken, in ticket pre-sales. Like Infinity War and the Star Wars Force Awakens combined, by the way. But yeah, this movie is going to be an absolutely fun ride. And here on the channel, all week we're going to be pumping out some sort of Avengers content. Tomorrow, I am not exactly sure what the topic is going to be, but when we get to that point, you guys will know probably at least a little bit beforehand, and we'll be able to do another live stream. Plus, be sure to keep your eyes peeled for another Avengers Week video. The video for tomorrow is actually going to be Iron Man, and it should be going onto the channel in the early afternoon, probably 3 o'clock. I don't know. This is going to be fun. And as a matter of fact, the moment I'm sure some of you have been waiting for, there is going to be a giveaway coming up on the channel for the digital comics code to Avengers No Surrender #1. You will be able to redeem this on the Marvel Comics app, and I will be absolutely sure to get this to the winner of this contest that I'm about to sort of unleash upon everybody. So this comic book right here, you'll be able to win a free digital code of this book if anybody who comments on any video between now and when Endgame comes out, you can comment on the Captain America video, any video from this Avengers week, any of you with any speculation comment that actually ends up being the most correct, or if anybody can speculate the ending and it's the closest to being correct, whoever that might be, you guys, whoever it is, ends up winning a free digital comics code to Avengers No Surrender. We will actually be doing comic book giveaways every week on the channel from now on. It's always going to be one, and it's going to come down to one person. So, yeah, be sure to leave comments on all the videos, a like and a comment for the digital code to Avengers No Road Home #1. In hype for Avengers Endgame and celebrating Avengers Week here on the channel. And real quick, I would also like to plug the Facebook page, I Freaking Love Marvel Comics. They are a absolute They are absolute masters of Marvel Comics. As a matter of fact, that is the second link that I have posted in the live chat comments, and I will also put it in the description of this video. They're all a bunch of really great guys, and I love talking to them. And as a matter of fact, they are fans and promoters of the channel because since I'm a completely Marvel channel, we kind of work something out there. So please, if you're a very big Marvel fan, would like to ask questions, know more, or already know enough and just want to geek out about Marvel Comics, that would be the place to go to. And remember, the name of that group is I Freaking Love Marvel Comics. So anyways, that is going to wrap up the speculation podcast for today. Thank you everyone for watching, and anybody who might be watching this after it has gone live, thank you as well for checking the video out and checking out the channel. Here at the Infinity Well, we talk entirely about Marvel Comics, movies, and games content. And so, yeah, stay tuned for the rest of Avengers Week, and I will catch you guys later. So, peace out, and face front, true believers. This is the end of the video.